Sports video games have changed a lot over the years. From the first sports games to the ones only about a decade and a half ago, one would simply enter a store, look on the shelf, pick up the latest version of their game, read the back of the box, and buy the game. That was it. There were no patches, no updates, no DLC. There was no more money that needed to or could be spent. What you bought was what you got. Development on those games was over, and the different studios were all at work on the next year's iteration of the game. Of course, as time went on, technology improved and the internet soon became a huge part of gaming. The possibilities were endless. Games could be played online with friends, purchased digitally, rosters could be updated mid-season, bugs and glitches could be fixed post-release, and new content could be added to the game throughout the year. At the time, this seemed like a big win for gamers, but as you could probably tell from the title of this video, these technological advancements and changes to sports games have effectively made them worse off. What you buy on launch day is no longer what you get a month later. $60 no longer buys you the full game. No matter which sports game it is, there is always something hidden behind a paywall. In the past, things such as special uniforms, car paint schemes, historic athletes, and more could all be obtained through playing the game. Today, things like that cost money. Games used to be held to a higher quality standard, as in the past any bug or glitch needed to be fixed before launch, because if the game released with those issues, they could not be fixed. Now it seems like most sports games release in a near beta state, with glitches and bugs that you would have never seen on a 6th generation or below console rampant. Somehow, things like this are overlooked because now, these issues can simply be patched a week later. We are currently in an era where sports games are released for $60 in an unfinished state, and that only gets you the base game. You'll need to pay more, real money, after spending $60 to get the full experience. Gone are the days of game developers trying to create a product good enough to keep players coming back each year. Instead, the focus has shifted to creating a less polished game with an emphasis on addictive microtransactions. And this is the problem with modern sports games. EA, 2K, San Diego Studios, and any other AAA sports game studio is at fault here. Simply put, greed has become the #1 driving force behind creating these games. Of course, why else would a company create a game without the goal to make as much money as possible? Humans, and in result major companies, are selfish. That's just how life is. In fact, I don't really blame these companies all that much for what they do. If they can get away with it, it only makes sense to do it. The real issue lies with consumers. If everyone complaining about these games continues to buy them each and every year, why would these companies do anything different? For every 10 people complaining about the latest FIFA or Madden or 2K game, 9 of those people are going to buy it, and then continue to complain about it. People are stupid. I made 2 videos giving my honest thoughts on the Madden NFL games. Those videos did very well, got tons of likes, and helped build my channel. Now, I'd easily take a bet that at least 80% of those who supported and agreed with what I said in those videos went out and bought Madden 20 at launch. On Twitter, my followers are constantly talking about how unhappy they are with the game, sending me videos of glitches they found while playing, and more. My question is, why did you all buy the game? What did you expect? These people agreed with me that the game was bad, that nothing was going to change, and then they went out and spent $60 on it, and probably more. Well, guess what? As long as people keep doing this, nothing is going to change. Most of these game sales are made in America, a country with a mostly free market economy. In theory, the consumer should have the power and leverage. If people were unhappy that a game like Madden released with minimal updates to franchise mode, numerous glitches, and constant Ultimate Team ads, and they decided not to buy the game, and sales went way down, EA would have no choice but to make a better game next year if they wanted to win those people back and continue to make money. Instead, since most people lack any kind of self-control, these companies are rewarded for their toxic business decisions. Now, if you like a game, enjoy it, and you don't really have a lot of issues with it, by all means go out and buy the game if it makes you happy. That's not what I'm trying to say. But if you're the kind of person who is unhappy with the state of certain games, why are you buying them just to complain about them? If you're going to buy a game and complain about it all year, you might need to get some other hobbies. That may seem hypocritical coming from me since I love to complain about modern sports games. In fact, that's what this whole video is about. The difference is, if I don't support or like what a game is doing, I won't buy it. I didn't buy Madden 20. So what exactly are these companies doing that people are always complaining about that makes sports games worse today than ever? I'll start with the obvious: microtransactions. Ultimate Team, or My Team, or Diamond Dynasty, or whatever dumb name you want to call the mode, is the biggest culprit. These game modes prey on children and dumb adults by using the mobile game formula. Only instead of a free mobile game, it has a $60 entrance fee. YouTubers are constantly promoting Ultimate Team on their channels, playing games like 2K, Madden, FIFA, and others, showing their young, gullible fanbase just how euphoric it feels to gamble. If you don't see an issue with Ultimate Team modes and microtransactions, and you're about to smash that dislike button and leave an angry comment, I want you to ask yourself two questions. Are you over the age of 15? And how much money have you spent on Ultimate Team packs in your lifetime? I'm pretty much beating a dead horse here, but Ultimate Team is mostly the reason why most sports games are in this current state and why they charge $80 to $100 for them. It really works too, as EA and 2K make most of their revenue from microtransactions. With 2K, however, there's also the My Career game mode with microtransactions. Companies are going to continue monetizing as much of the game as possible, as long as the consumers let them. Ironically, since 2K has the most microtransactions in their games, 2K is still the best company at making sports games. That's how sad the state of sports games is right now. 2K has historic teams in play now, one of the deepest offline franchise modes ever in my league, and the highest level of customization in any sports game. Yet it's riddled with microtransactions to the point where some NBA fans turned to a lesser quality game in NBA Live simply so they didn't have to deal with them. But any game made by EA, whether it's Madden, FIFA, NBA Live, or NHL, is going to share certain characteristics. A bare-bones franchise mode, a ton of features missing from the game that used to be in the game, and very little to do besides play Ultimate Team. You know the historic teams in 2K? The ones that used to be available in older versions of these games? Well, now they're stuck behind the Ultimate Team paywall. Some people may take this as me defending 2K, as I've had many people call me a 2K fanboy, but the truth is, all sports games suck. 2K has terrible anti-consumer business practices, but their game is deeper and more fleshed out than any other sports game. It's sad. The next major issue with modern sports games is the constant patching and updates. Because the online, competitive, microtransaction-filled game modes like Ultimate Team make these companies most of their money, the developers tend to cater towards this demographic. Competitive players complaining that gameplay is too realistic, too hard, or not up to their standards, expect a patch completely changing the gameplay, while also likely breaking something elsewhere in the game. The NBA 2K20 demo has already been patched and changed numerous times to cater to these people. I do not understand the average competitive sports gamer. They all seem to want each game to play exactly like the last one. What are you buying the new one for then? If you want 2K20 to play like 2K19, go play 2K19. Oh, but never mind, you don't have to, because 2K, EA, and all these other companies are your bitch and will cater to your every need. At least Madden seems to have stopped doing that this year, but the game is so terrible that it really doesn't matter. The other issue, which Madden is a major culprit of, regarding patches and updates, is the current trend of releasing unfinished games. Every sports game does this, although EA seems to be the biggest culprit, especially with Madden. I have never seen a more glitchy game on a play-to-play basis. Why spend your time polishing and perfecting a game if you can push all that off until later, thanks to modern technology? In my Madden 20 review, I originally said the game felt less buggy and glitchy than 19. I was wrong. Now that the game has been out for a while, it's very obvious that it's a mess. Same goes for 2K games, but to a lesser degree, and FIFA, NHL, every game out there. I don't know if the developers are lazy, or the executives are not giving them enough time to focus on polish, but sports games today are much buggier, glitchier, and unstable than ever before. Even sports games such as the NASCAR Heat games have issues you wouldn't have seen in older games. Remember how in the NASCAR Thunder games you could play the game to unlock secondary paint schemes and drivers? Well, today those are unobtainable. You instead have to buy a Season Pass DLC that includes them for $20. The truth is, until people can speak with their wallet, nothing is going to change. I take a lot of issue with people who say things like, "You didn't buy this game? You're boycotting it?" Well, there's no point. You alone won't make a difference. It's like the voting system. One vote in a vacuum doesn't really matter, but if everyone thought that way, no one would vote, and there would probably be a disastrous result. If you hate the game you buy every year, if you think it sucks, and if you're fed up with the current state of it, why are you buying it? Oh, is it because it's the only NFL game? Or the only soccer game licensed with your favorite team? Or the only baseball game? Shut up. If you're pissed at Madden, for example, go play 2K5, 2K8, Madden 08, Madden 25. If you have 19, just play that. You don't have to buy the newest game each year, and it's probably healthier if you don't, if you're the kind of person who's going to complain about it all year. It's really so simple. You, the consumer, has the power, but luckily for these companies, too many people lack self-control. I miss the days when the EA logo stood for quality, when I would go to GameStop and look on the back of the newest NBA games, excited to see what new features were in the game. I miss buying a game and it being a finished product. I miss stable sports games. Right now we are in a dark era for sports games, and it's probably not going to change anytime soon.